Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Astroneer Glitchwalker series. Today we pick up the action here on Aeolus, and we're getting ourselves ready to head back down beneath the surface to, I don't know, fetch some more resources, but more importantly, we are looking for something to get us some chips, some exo chips. So, strap yourself in, put on your favourite Astroneer outfit, and let's get started. Alright, now I don't know if you noticed as I was, surfing down the ramp there, and I definitely wouldn't recommend that for the faint of heart, that there was another cache just off in this direction. It sort of rendered in just before a big crystal sort of popped in front of it and we lost sight of it. Yeah, we're going to head down there and have a little looky at that. We're not sure if we'll get anything out of it, if it's active, whatever, but it is worth having a bit of a look at, or at least I thought so at this stage. Minor spoiler, yeah, it actually wasn't, but anyway, we'll learn that in due time. Now, it may have been an option to go down our previously established ramp and then work our way across, but I'm a firm believer in the shortest distance between 2 points is, roughly a straight line. And I want to cover as much ground as I can while I'm down here, so hence bringing so many tethers with us. So we're just going to ramp straight down. There's actually kind of a debris slash broken camp kind of setup down here that we're going to work our way towards, just on the off chance that there's any useful tidbits as part of that as well. Alright, here we are basically at the bottom, and yeah, we've got a bit of debris there. A couple of available science samples. One's in one of those containers, the other two are actually on platforms. I was a little bit hopeful that one of these generators might have been working, but no, they're both broken. Not much else on offer there at this stage, but there looks like there might be a little bit more to this just up and over the hill, so we'll have a bit of a look at that in a moment. I'm sort of panning around looking to see. We're basically looking for the exocaches, so the big black looking containers that we can break open with explosives. Now that's why we've got some explosives with us, so that when we find some we can stick them all in a pile and blow them up and get ourselves some exo chips. We need the exo chips. Well, at this stage the first thing we're going to use them for is to make the large rover. I suspect there's one or two things that we also need the chips for a bit later. So if we can get more than the two that we need for the rover, I think we'll be doing pretty good. Alright, and here we are at this cache. We are going to, actually not a cache, it's a vault. I'm getting my words all jumbled up again. Welcome to early in the morning on a Wednesday. We're going to once again have to build a ramp up to it. Now, this one is a Delta Vault. Now, Delta Vault, we've already unlocked one of those. So at this stage, I'm not entirely sure that there's going to be any benefit at all to unlocking it. But hey, we're here. We're going to give it a bash. Alright, scratch another Delta Vault. We're just going to resume our search now for these exocaches. They seem to be pretty thin on the ground, and any dedicated viewers want to tell me the thing that I'm already doing wrong here? Want to leave a comment down below. What's the one thing that I could do to, make this exercise a little bit less, I guess, random? Alright, we have a little bit of a cut there because we left our little medium holdery thing up the top. And we're in a position now where we actually need the explosives. So we took the science sample up and just got it kind of wedged on the ramp. and we brought this one back. We don't need the holder with us per se. It was just a convenient way of bringing down some extra stuff. We've got our explosives. We are looking around. We're really not seeing anything that looks like an exocache. So we're going to start heading out in a different kind of a direction so that we can see if we can spot one in our travels. Had any thoughts yet on the thing that might actually kind of help me out at this stage? Yeah, the radar, it shows, as little green markers. It shows where the exocaches are that are nearby, and removes the need for all this random gawking around. Don't worry, I do eventually work that out. And as you're going to see, there isn't any around where I am anyway. So there wasn't any major loss as yet. But there quite well could have been. Some of these exocaches are, well, I'm not going to pull any punches here. They're quite well buried. And two of them, there's no way that I would have spotted those without being aware that they were, close to that location. There's just no way. But you'll get to see that shortly. We are just doing our sort of building above the terrain thing here. More for the fact that there's so many holes and I just do not want to be falling down these. It just makes things a bit too annoying and vastly improves our chances of, suffocating and dying if we fall down one of those. So I think we're gonna try and skip that in our search for some exocaches. Alright, that little green symbol there that's popped up, that is an exocache. So we're going to start working our way towards it. Hopefully we might see some others. I brought multiple explosives because you can use one explosive to blow up an entire, stack of exocaches all in one go, but the exocaches are really unwieldy to carry around, so if they're going to be a long way between them, it's probably more time efficient to just, blow up one or two rather than, wasting an hour just to get them all in one place. Now, we seem to be, our luck seems to have returned. Heading in this direction, we are seeing two now. So, look, if we get only one chip per, then that's going to give us enough for the rover. Generally speaking, though, you usually manage to get a bit more than one. I suppose the average I generally see is about 2 chips per exocache. Just as kind of a rolling average. So, yeah, there we go. There's our exocache with the lights and the little red stripe. We just got to dig it out of the ground. We're not going to let it fall down a hole this time. And we're just going to pop it somewhere safe while we go and see if we can locate... Oh, hello. We've now got 3. There's a third one just popped up. Nice. Alright, well, if we can get all of these together, we can blow them all up in one go. So let's see if we can work on that. Yeah, that exocache, not quite so obvious. I mean, the red stripe sort of pointing out is certainly helping with our ability to locate it, but it's, yeah, definitely a bit of an eye for detail type spotting arrangement. And as you can see, there's more than half of it was buried in that crystal, so they are really well hidden sometimes. Alright, this is where we ran out of tethers. I mean, we've got our oxygen tank, so we've got a little bit of time. The cache doesn't seem to be too far away, so we're just going to push a bit and see if we can find it. Now, according to the little compassy radar-y thing, we should have it pretty much right in front of us. But where is it? I mean, can you see it? Is it there? Is it... Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's like an nth of it was sticking out from that crystal. So yeah, they are quite hard to find sometimes. So just make sure you're not just visually relying on locating them. Have that radar so you can get clued in on exactly where they are. I mean, in that other side, I probably passed, you know, another 2 or 3 of them at some stage. But that's fine. We'll come back for them if we run short on chips. Given we've got 3 caches, I think we should be pretty good for a little bit. But we'll wait and see how many chips we get out of it. Now, what you do, the explosive radius of the dynamite is, it's modest. If you're going to blow up multiples of these things, make sure they are as close together as you can make them. You could probably blow up 5 or 6 of these in one go. It would make a hell of a mess, as you're about to see. We're just clearing our bags to get ready for picking up the chips. And then we are going to set this sucker off. And yeah, it goes without saying, make sure you're at a safe distance. Because that's exactly what happens. Now, we have, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's okay. Oh, there's one up there, that's 6. Yep, so maintained the average. We ended up with 2 chips per cache, so that's pretty good. I'm not going to be complaining about that. We did out of that quite well. All right, I wonder what else we can find while we're down here. Alright, doesn't look like we're going to get any more caches, but what we can do, because we've got our little medium carry thing here, we're going to fill it up with hematite. Chances are we are going to need a bit of iron at some stage, so look, we're down here, we may as well get it, fill up our little holder, and then take all of that back to the surface with us. And here we are back on the surface. We've got our little Delta root kit. Yeah, we've already done the Delta root kit. We don't get any bonus rewards for it. We tried to put it in Decipher and Decipher spat it out. So, yeah, well, I won't say that was a waste of time, but yeah, it was a waste of time. Anyway, we're loaded our 2 chips that we needed for the large rover into the large printer. Everything else was already in there ready to go. And we're just going to let that one print out. We've got enough power to run it at a reasonably good speed now, so it is still pretty slow though. Anything that you're spitting out from the large printer, to say it takes a hot minute is probably an understatement. Now, while that is printing, we are also working on the other things that we're going to need to go with the rover. Now, the intention here is the large rover is going to be our a storm gathering, and more so it is going to be our mode of transport when it comes time to go to the 3rd storm, and also to go down into the core of the planet. And we're going to use a setup broadly similar to what I tended to use just in my normal single player series. The one I'm doing at the moment, we haven't quite got to that point yet, but we will. And when we do, the setup that I'm going to be using is going to be basically the same as what we're preparing now. On the front of the large rover, there are 2 medium connection points. We're going to use one for the vehicle drill and one for something called a paver. I'll go into more details about what the paver does, but it pretty much does what it says on the tin. On the back of the rover, we're going to put this medium storage type thing. Actually, it's I forget what it's called. It turns 1 large slot into 4 medium slots. Now that's going to give us a lot of useful space for power. We're going to want to bring a portable decipher with us. We're going to want Ruby with us. And we're probably going to want a little bit of storage besides. So yes, we could make a 2nd rover and tow it, but I find with the big rover, you're better off if you can get away with doing it with just the 1 rover. It's so much easier on mobility versus having to lug the trailer around. Because on these big rovers, the ability to turn around on a postage stamp, yeah, you don't have that. The trade-off is they're very good with dealing with small imperfections in the terrain that the tractor would normally have trouble with. These rovers go right over the top of it. But yeah, the downside is they don't turn so well. So anyway, we'll get to experience that in due time. We're continuing to crank out the science in the meantime, and we're just thinking about any of the other little mod cons that we want to bring with us. So yep, this is our drill. We're going to put what we need on the little printer there so we can spit out the drill for the vehicle. We need some tungsten carbide, which is just tungsten and carbon. We got plenty of carbon lying around at the moment because we're using it to generate power. We've got a bit of tungsten left over from our last little jaunt down into the crust of the planet. So making some tungsten carbide is not a problem. That's a pretty big and imposing drill that we've got there, but then it's got to drill a hole big enough to fit the vehicle through, so yeah, anyway. We are now needing to look at our other tech available and unlock some of the other essentials, not the least of which is the paver. As you can see, that's another 5,000 units of science. So we've already used, what, 12,500 just to do the most basic elements of what we need on the rover. Trust me, I'm sure there'll be more to come. Yeah, we've got some more materials gathering before we're going to be ready to make the rest of the items for the rover, but that wasn't going to surprise me. A lot of these specialised materials require, you know, one or more, well, not one or more, one of the multiple different types of gas that there are available. Luckily on Ailus we can actually gather all of them equally well, so pretty happy about that. So we're just working on making our silicon. Once we've got that, we can spit the paver out, and that's going to be pretty much it. Now, speaking of pretty much it, that's pretty much the end of this episode. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.